Hello, everybody. We are
Huzzah!
back again. Brian, it's all you.
To the further adventures of the intrepid crew of the Berezaya Argia. When last we left, the crew, along with a couple of Lyrandar airship crews that were without their own airship, decided to steal back a couple of the airships that were previously stolen by various Lazar princes and princesses of the Lazar principalities, and returned to Skyhold with holds and filled with the various stolen swag, and Lyrandar up 2 airships, and there was much rejoicing. Or commiserating, depending on which route you were going.
Flag.
During the course of that, though, things kind of went south for a moment as
I don't know what you all are worried about. It's just Ember and the fireball.
Roughly around the same time that Rhiannon had discovered that some of the prisoners taken in that raid were possessed by quarry spirits, most likely of the Dreaming Dark variety. At the same time, the manor house where the bigwigs were partying kind of exploded due to a, for lack of a better term, we'll call it a terrorist attack, for lack of a better term, and
that's...
I think that's the correct term there, Brian.
I feel like there's any other term for it.
If the shoe fits.
And so we are now caught up to the very beginning of what happened about 2 episodes ago. As
looks like a duck in it.
Into the middle of
Talks
things.
like a duck, it explodes.
That's why you don't touch the duck in the dungeon.
Don't touch the duck.
And I'm going to make...
Don't touch the duck.
Very minor, slight retcons to the descriptions that really don't change a whole lot. In that Ember, the person that tackled you out the window was the person who ultimately blew up the place, and so they were on fire when they tackled you out the window. Otherwise,
cool.
Everything else happened the same as before.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maya, as you were heading back to the ship, that's when you kind of met up with Gullick and Romeo, who before you kind of parted your separate ways.
You mean Tiger?
Sure.
Otherwise, no, actually, and then, as part of that, Tiernan, ultimately, you guys had to go different directions, because he was like, I need to get back to my airship fast, and we're going to have a chance to save these things.
Sure.
And then gave you like a quick, hurried sort of peck on the cheek, and then ran off, because you were kind of heading down into the tunnels, because you were kind of in the dry dock area is kind of in the bowels of the Skyhold, whereas his ship was parked on one of the piers kind of on the edge.
Sure.
Because admittedly, if he doesn't get there, chances are without an officer, ships will probably be taken back. Otherwise, chaos, attack, death, fire, boom. I'd like everyone to roll an ish.
Brian, I left you a little love note at the top of this session's notes. Just so you know.
At the very top, or just of the...
No, this session's notes.
Alright, hold on. Let's see what... Aww. That's... Anyway. At any rate, if you would be so kind...
Yep.
Oh, And Rhiannon, as you are the wonderful note taker who's been taking such notes, granted, didn't really need to use it last session, but this session you do start with a GM's inspiration for all the note taking that you do.
I appreciate that right now in particular.
Because we're fighting a Warforged Titan.
Because we're fighting a Warforged Titan and have whatever the fuck that thing is behind us.
Oh yeah, the whirling blade vortex of doom.
Yes, the
Forgot about the
whirling
blade
vortex of doom.
Which admittedly,
Ah,
I do not have a mini of, and I was going to use a tennis ball, but the tennis ball is bigger than a large template. So it's just that large black circle, because I don't actually have a horrible fun ball.
really fun ball of death. Oof. Okay. So I've got a 24 for Ember, a 15 for Amaya. Hang on a second. 24 for Ember.
15 as well.
15 for Amaya. So Barca got a 15 as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Babe?
18 plus 3.
18.
18 is the total.
Okay. I still have nuance from last session. Okay. You want to give me my bad guys?
Yes. The Inspired go to 16 with a +2.
Oh, hang on. I forgot to move these around. Give me just a sec. Because there. This. This goes. Okay, you said a 16 with a +2?
Yes.
Okay.
The Inspired Martial Artists go at an 18 with a +3. The Warforged Titan goes at a 14 with a -1. And the Gearkeeper Construct goes at a 16 with a +3.
I'm sorry, the what?
Gearkeeper Construct.
Whirly fun ball of death.
16 with a
+3.
+3. Okay. Anybody else?
I don't believe so. No, that should be it for the moment.
Oh, I think that's plenty to murder us with. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm assuming if tied between our guy and a bad guy, we go first?
Who's all tied up?
Gavin and the Inspired Martial Artists.
Yeah, Gavin will go first.
Okay. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
Now, admittedly, like you see, there are 2 maps on the table. They are not connected.
Right, I'm assuming we're running through different areas, yeah.
At least for right now.
Okay. I'm gonna...
So if you look on the map to your... The one with the pool, the
Yeah, that's where Gavin and I are.
That's where Gavin and Rhiannon are, with the Warforged Titan on the one side and the Happy Deadly Fun Ball on the other side.
The whirly fun ball of death.
The spinning ball of blades and doom. And then on the right, or left-hand side, at least according to my picture, is Amaya, who's kind of running down the street right now. I have not put Barca or Ember on the map yet, because it'll kind of depend on what happens in this next round.
Okay, so It is going to, at least our people in order are Ember, Gavin, Rhiannon, Amaya, Barca. We have bad guys scattered in through there.
Oh, and actually, now that I think of it,
No.
Amaya's not even in the street. Amaya's down in the tunnels, in the
Yeah.
dry dock area. So ignore the map on the left. Sorry. That's the problem when you run a game a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, from the perspective of people watching this will have been 6 weeks ago.
Well, that's true. By the time this airs, yeah. Shouldn't even be random. So who's at the top of the round?
Ember is top of the round.
Okay. So Ember, what happened? You were tackled out a window, falling off a skyhold. You dimension door to allow the inspired to fall to their death, which fuck them. And you dimension door back up to. You're not in the manor, but you're nearby it. Maybe outside of the actual manor proper. Mm-hmm. However, you do see it is in flames.
I run back in.
You run back into the...
Yeah. I'm immune to fire, so I run back
can't
in.
be hurt by it.
That's fair. Go ahead and make me a... I'll say either acrobatics or athletics roll. The reason for this is less to do with the fact that things on fire, because you're immune to fire, but the fact that things did explode in here and kind of damage like the walls and the floor and all that kind of stuff, and just to kind of make sure you're on solid footing.
That's fair. Depending on how well this goes. Oh, dice giveth and they taketh away. 7.
Okay. It's a little rough going, and you get to kind of a point where just because of debris that has fallen, and granted the fire is fairly hot, being that it started with a magical origin,
Yeah. I am trying to make my way back to where I was.
And that's fair. I'm gonna say you're not quite able to get there. Like you get in and you kind of start going up the stairs, then you almost have to dive off the stairs as a column falls down and smashes through the stairs that were already kind of weakened by the fire and the damage.
Ow. I'm assuming this wasn't all fire damage that the explosion did, because we never did damage.
No, it was. It was the magical explosives, for lack of a better term. So they. Sorry, all of a sudden River Dog is deciding to run around and play with toys. So I warn you, there may be squeakies. Totally brain farting. Sorry. Oh, right. So yes, some of the damage is definitely caused more by the blast of the explosion than necessarily the fire, but you definitely get a sense that due to the magical energies involved, and actually for that matter, I'll even let, if you want, you can even roll a bit of an Arcana check.
Yeah. Uh, 15.
You realize the spread of the fire, even for a magical, I'd say even for a magical explosion, it's kind of surprising that the fire is consuming as quickly as it is. You realize there may be something sort of an impetus behind it, and as you kind of recognize that, you do see on the sort of the second floor area where the dining hall is, you see the movement and flicker of flame of a being of pure flame kind of move across, sort of gleefully just starting things on fire. And you realize that in addition to the Blastus, there may have been other items like perhaps an elemental gem to get things rolling to
Okay.
cause more fire and chaos.
Upon seeing that, I am gonna use my loot and cast Fly on myself.
Okay. So that'll be your. We'll say that'll be your action, and we'll say we'll call it running into the manor was probably your move, so you have like a bonus left.
Let's see. As far as a bonus, can I? How far away is that being, or it was just a flicker?
We'll say it's maybe like 30 or 40 feet away from you.
In Primordial, I'm going to shout, "Hey, Sparky, catch me if you can!"
Okay. Phoenix, if you would be kind enough to add a 6 to the initiative with a +3 modifier, and that will be a fire elemental.
Got it.
And I am going to. I'm still pinging Zaya as I would have of status. Where is everybody?
And we'll get to that eventually. Sorry. Is that it for Ember?
That's all I got.
After Ember
is Gavin with the inspired martial artists on deck.
So, what kind of an action would you say it is to communicate with Zaya? Are we calling that a free? Are we calling it a bonus?
Yeah,
I'm going to say a free, provided it's not like.
I think it's a simple message.
If it's like,
Okay.
maybe 1 or 2 sentences at most, like you're not going to do a Shakespearean monologue or anything.
Yeah, I don't plan to soliloquize to Zaya right now. No, so Gavin grabs his necklace. Zaya, tell everybody to get back to you. I'm going to turn to Rhiannon.
You're still holding my hand.
Oh, so with the other hand, Zaya, tell everybody to get back to you. I look at you and I go, hey, let's fly. And I pump your hand twice and cast 4th level fly, which will get both of us. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to spend a sorcery point, quicken an Eldritch Blast with Repelling Blast on the Titan in front of us, because fuck that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
28.
That will hit.
Nat 20.
That will also hit.
That will aggressively hit. So that will drive him back 20 feet. There is no save, because welcome to my pain from Saul's Rest.
I mean, David's not here. Just saying.
Yeah, but he just radiant the shit out of that, so.
14 for the first one. Nice. 17, 22 for the second.
So 14 and 22?
Yep. And I still have a move, so I will fly straight up 60 feet.
True.
Okay.
And that will end. That was a hell of a turn, so I'm done.
All right.
All
after
right.
Gavin.
After Gavin are the inspired martial artists, and then Rhiannon.
So, Barca, you are currently running in fear of the one martial artist that feared you, as they are both they're both kind of being asshats and kind of doing the taunting you as they are sort of stalking you, as it were. What does it show for their speed? Okay. So what is your speed again?
40 feet.
Okay. So they are gonna do. So you hear their voices, kind of like, "Come on, you big furball! You want your axe back, don't you? We'll give it to you. Come on and play." And what's disturbing is you're so afraid right now because of the fear spell. You don't necessarily know if it's if you hear them saying that or if you hear them saying that. Like you're not 100% certain. Admittedly, your fear-based brain is just kind of not totally processing.
Noted.
And when you look back, you do not see them, but you kind of keep hearing them as they go along. What's your passive perception?
9.
Okay, yeah. So you do not see them.
Sorry.
Oh, wait, but I'm scared of them, and I'm supposed to be moving away from them as far and fast as I can.
Correct. So on your turn, because they used a fear spell, on your turn, you will get to make a saving throw because they are out of visual range. But you do hear them, you know they are nearby.
Noted.
That is it for the martial artist. Who's next after that?
Sorry, I accidentally pulled up work stuff, and that's not going to be helpful here. Yes, it is Rhiannon with the Gear Keeper construct on deck.
Okay.
Okay. I will go 60 feet straight up in the fucking air, because fuck these guys. This is Eberron. Would I know if fire is going to be any good against a gigantic fucking Warforged Titan? It's my job to know things.
Well, you have fought these before. The as far as the Warforged
Oh, that's
Titan.
true.
So you know that most of your elemental base damage should affect them just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I am going to whip out my staff, which is the Staff of Fire.
Okay.
And I am going to hold. Where'd it go? There it is. I am going to use it to cast Wall of Fire in a circle. A ringed wall that is a foot thick. And goes
Titan?
around the Titan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know. Okay.
It is a Dex save, DC 15.
it got a 9.
That is a fail. And it's gonna take... Not bad, not bad. 10. So it's going to take 18 fire damage. Wait. I missed a die. Add another 4 to that. So 22?
Okay. It is still up, but it's definitely, it's burning.
Okay. And it's going to continue to... each creature, of course, the flame is to the inside to keep it in.
So kind of a column.
Yeah, it's like a cone of fire around it. So anytime he ends his turn within 10 feet of that side of the wall, and I would have made it pretty snug around him, he will take that same damage.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, he'll take 5d8 fire damage. And then when it enters the wall on its turn, or ends its turn in the wall.
Gotcha.
I'm going to keep those dice out. But that was my move and my action. I don't really think there's... Well... I mean, I really doubt that my little hound would do much in the way of injuring the ruling ball of death, so we're not even gonna bother with that. Zoom tight. That'll be it for this round.
After Rhiannon?
After Rhiannon is the Gearkeeper Construct, and then the Inspired.
Okay. The Gearkeeper Construct is going to so you see it starts traveling up the lane, so to speak. It moves very much to give you a modern equivalent. It almost feels a little bit like a ping pong ball going through a ping pong ball machine, as far as kind of bouncing off walls and rolling around and stuff. Although it seems to have, unlike the randomness of a pinball machine, this thing seems to know exactly where it's going to try to bounce off of walls to like get a little airtime and horribleness. It's just kind of disturbing.
It's a smart ping pong ball.
It is very much, and it actually will shoot up to hit. It's going to try and hit Rhiannon.
I'm 60 feet up.
Yes, and you see a spear shoot out from it.
It's shooting at you. It's not jumping up to hit you.
One of the spikes that and like it's got these like kind of extended little arm blades that kind of pop in and out, but there's one that's like it pops out like a pointed, like a spear point, which it then fires out, and you see is actually a spear of sorts. Is a 26 hit you?
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus.
You will take 12 piercing damage, and you are knocked prone.
Fuck.
Now the good news is, because you're flying and you have a fly spell, it doesn't mean you fall out of the sky. Effectively, instead of falling prone, you just kind of start spinning sort of uncontrollably in the air as the force of it just causes you to get totally thrown off kilter. From game terms wise, it's going to effectively work the same as prone.
Yeah, I'll have to use some of my movement to stop.
To kind of correct yourself, but as far as the actual game statistics, but from a thematic standpoint, it just causes you to all over the place. That is it for the Gatekeeper Construct, because it cannot do much else.
Good. After it is the inspired, and then Amaya is on deck.
Okay, let's see.
We make a pretty terrifying couple
Mm-hmm.
in this game, just for the record.
Inspired or done, go ahead and move on to the... Oh, so Maya, so as I recall, you saw one of those smaller kind of sky coach vehicles laden with what must have been a bunch of probably pitch or tar or oil in those barrels, basically kind of explode as it hit the deck. Explode hitting the deck of Zaya.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
And
Forgot that.
if you'd be kind enough, since I know you've kind of kept track of Zaya in the past.
Sure.
10, 17. Zaya will take 67 points of damage, fire damage, and is on fire currently.
This.
And then for I'm gonna say someone pick even or odd for me.
Even good for us.
Okay, Nikali was not in the blaze, but Kaladin was. Okay. Kaladin will make it dexterity save. 18, not horrible. What was the damage I said?
67.
Thank you. So that's 33. Okay. Kaladin is up, but not looking great. As he was kind of giving orders to the goblin crews as far as with the thorn launchers that was hitting the thing. So he was kind of up front pointing. So you see that when the front of the deck, kind of the bow of the deck of Zaya go up in flame, kind of like almost like a little bit of a napalm kind of feel to it. That unfortunately Nikali was had tried to leap out of the way of the sky coach, but couldn't quite get out of the way of the blaze of fire that in its wake as it kind of exploded. But Zaya is currently on fire.
Cool. Not cool. Once Amaya has seen that, she's basically she's moving, she's dashing, she's bonus action dashing back to get to Zaya.
Sure. You get on board Zaya without any issue.
And as soon as she gets back to Zaya, she goes and grabs the decanter of endless water that we recently purchased, brings it up onto the top deck, pops the top off, and goes, Geyser!
So we're going to say, assuming that was probably down in the ship, because realistically, it probably would be.
Probably would have been in like the kitchen or something.
Right. So we're going to say your movement is 45?
50 for just one move action.
50. So we're going to say...
so if I'm spending a key point...
to get down to the kitchen, we'll call it an action to grab it. And then I believe you can usually do a dash action or something as a bonus, right?
Yep, for a key point.
So if you wanted to spend a key point, you could get up on top and be ready to hit it with the decanter.
Oh, yeah.
But you won't be able to activate it this turn.
That's fine. As close as I can get to it, as quickly as I can make that all happen, it's happening.
Fair enough. That is it for Amaya.
After Amaya is Barca, and then the Warforged Titan.
So Barca, I believe. Oh, I forgot if you have to run first and then make your save. Let me double check real quick. Because I keep track of such things. I don't keep track of such things.
I think for fear, usually the save is at the end of your turn.
Yeah,
Well, most things usually are, but I just want to double check. If a creature ends its turn in a location where it doesn't have line of sight, then you can try to make another Wisdom saving throw. So you are going to keep running.
I thought you said I turned around and I didn't see them when I turned around.
Right, but at the beginning of your turn, you still have to run.
Got it.
And then at the end of your turn, you get a saving throw. So you're still hauling. I'd say go ahead and also pick even or odd.
Even.
Okay. You do not cross paths with a Titan or a Gear Keeper construct, so you're good there. However, after you're done running, you can go ahead and make another Wisdom saving throw.
Right on. 17.
Oh yeah, actually, that I'm pretty sure their save is not that cool. Yes, 17 will get rid of the fear.
So Barker's gonna be running. He's gonna be like, Barker scared. Barker need to find Riri. Barker scared. Where's Riri? Gotta find Riri. Barker scared. And then wait, what would Riri do? And Barker turns around. Barker's brave, and then he looks like he's about to start running back to go get his axe.
Oh,
I love it.
That's amazing.
I can just see, what would Riri do? Riri would get her axe back. Anyway.
Barker needs to find fire.
Barca does need to find fire.
And there is plenty there. All right, so that will be the end of Barca's turn. Who is next?
It will be the Titan and then Ember's fire elemental friend.
All right, so the Titan is going to be passing through the wall.
My sister.
To escape out of the ring of fire. So what damage does that do?
Does 5d8 fire damage.
Go ahead and roll that beautiful fire
the
damage.
wall.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's try this.
27 fire damage.
Okay. Not that it has blood per se, but it's looking pretty messed up.
Good.
It steps out of the fire, and you see as it walks out, it's still kind of like bits of it, more of the fibrous tendrils are kind of on fire.
Yeah.
And it just kind of looks up at the two of you, because this one has like the axe and hammer, like it's the melee version, not the ballista version. So it's just kind of sitting there. It's going to ready an action to hit one of you if you come into range, but there's not really anything else it can do at the moment. So that's it for the Titan. Who's next?
The fire elemental, and then it's bottom of the round.
So Ember, you start to like, hey Sparky, chase me, and you start to head off a little bit, and you see, as I recall, the fire elemental moves very fast.
Yes, they do.
You see it rushes up to you, and you see its kind of burning arms are ready to come down, and then as it sees you, you see it kind of. I mean, it doesn't have legs per se. It's kind of like a almost like a fiery vortex with arms.
Mhm.
So you can't. So it's hard to sort of give it the description doesn't quite fit, but it almost seems to stop, brings its arms down, and almost as if it had legs, it was kind of getting down on one knee, and says in primordial Ignan specifically, the dialect of Ignan, for lack of a better term. My apologies, princess. I did not know you were here. Allow me to gift you with an inferno. And that's the fire elemental's turn. Moving on next.
It's
That elemental's got the hots for you.
Ah,
Damn schmoopsy.
fittingly, it is
made
Ember's
certain
turn
that they will be
next.
his TPK. All right.
oh
there it is.
shit.
Damn it.
Fuck, schmoopsy. So yeah, the bottom of the round, and then Ember is at the top.
You know,
Gavin, you're on deck.
every single time, Schmoopsy, I've said your puns are going to get us all killed one day, and you've been like, "What harm can come from puns?" Now we're paying for it.
So then we'll just jump to the top of the round. Then is
Ember,
Ember.
Gavin on deck.
Well, I need to get him out of this building right now, so I'm gonna take its proverbial hand. Can
Okay.
I? And like just because I'm flying, like drag him out?
Okay. There is and there is a bit of a physical presence because I mean they do have like a slam attack that does do some bashing as well as fire damage. So I mean it's not like there is some physicalness there, not necessarily to the same extent you would for a human being perhaps, but you grab its appendage and
I mean, I
start
guess I can't grapple or restrain it.
well,
They're immune to that.
they are immune to that. Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I just say, "Come with me," and I run out of the building.
It follows.
Are there any more of you? Recall them.
I am master of none. I live to serve. Allow me to burn this world for you, princess.
Wow, that would be fun. Not right now. Right now, this building cannot burn.
And you get such a sigh of oh. Which, sounds like a campfire cooking off
Hissing
some
and
concept,
popping.
Is are they gonna?
but it followed you out, so
Okay.
you fly out of the manor area, and it follows. It does not have a fly speed per se, but I'm assuming you're maybe not too far off the ground.
Yeah, no. It was more or less so that I didn't have to deal with the stupid terrain.
That's fair. That's fair. So, kind of hovering above the ground, you sort of lead it out, and it just follows, and then and then this exchange occurs. Is there? I'll let it slide that maybe it's not an action, but is there anything else you want to do at this point?
I mean, I figured that would be my action.
That's fair.
And then the only other little thing is screaming to Gulick, who I'm assuming is still upstairs, to get out.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
And that's
Did I
fair.
get a reply from Zaya?
Oh crap! That's what I wanted to do at the end of the round. Duh, Brian.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
the top
At
of the
the end of
round.
the last round, everybody who has a link with Zaya hears her scream out in pain.
Fuck.
Cool. Cool.
There's never any question that you should go back to the ship. It gets now answered.
Mhm.
That's the end of my turn.
All right, after Ember.
After Ember is Gavin with the martial artists on deck.
So we get a free object interaction. Can I grab a flailing limb of Rhiannon's, an ankle, a wrist, whatever?
If you wanted to take your action to right Rhiannon, so Rhiannon is no longer considered prone, I would allow it, but it would take your action.
It's more that I don't want to right her. It's more that I want to grab her and move her.
Realistically, because she is kind of flip-flopping all over the place, you're
That's
probably going to have to use an action to grab her.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my action to kind of grab whatever I can grab onto. And then I'm going to fly with her, because she's also flying. Again, another as far up as I can go. I can move 60, but if I'm dragging her along, I don't know if it's half. I don't know how you want to handle that, but
So do this for me. Go ahead and make a, we'll call it an athletics roll.
okay.
Rhiannon,
Yes.
if you were to have for lack of a better term, a passive, we'll call it athletics or acrobatics, aka adding just 10 to whatever your modifier is for one of those, which one would be higher?
Dex would be higher, athletics. Nope, sorry, acrobatics. That would be backwards. Acrobatics is higher.
Okay, so what would your passive acrobatics be?
A 12.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. So you are able to kind of grapple her to sort of right her. So you are no longer considered prone for all intents and purposes, Rhiannon.
Okay.
Can I fly up, holding onto her, dragging her in tow? Is that a thing I can do?
Fly up?
Yeah.
Yes, without an issue.
So I fly up another 60. That's going to put me right at the 120 edge of my range for the Warforged Titan. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to quicken my Eldritch Blast. I'm going to hit him with Repelling Blast again, and I'm going to knock him right back into that ring of fire.
Okay. For repelling blast, it just has to be away from you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got an angle, it'll kind of be like scooching him back.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Fuck, nat 20.
Okay.
And a 28.
Those will both hit.
So the crit... 21 for the crit. Well, I'm just rolling once. 10 for the secondary one.
So 31 damage total?
31 total, yep. And that'll knock him back 20 feet, hopefully back into that ring of light. Did you make a concentration check for your wall of fire?
It's through my staff. It's not through me.
Then never mind.
It's still a concentration spell, though, right? Normally?
I believe if it's through a magic item, you don't have to concentrate on it.
Because it was cast out of the staff chart to cast it. Because the whole point is that the spell's not coming from me.
Well, we can look that up later. All right. So, is it take the damage starting its turn?
If it enters the wall, the first time it enters the wall,
Okay. Then go ahead and roll the damage again.
Okay.
I feel this is like the equivalent of like when you take the pool cue and kind of go straight down.
Yeah.
I feel it's very similar in effect.
What kills me is and I feel like it's benefiting me right now, but I feel like there is a bit of a balance issue. There's no size or height restriction to what you can move. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, and I feel like maybe there's a balance issue there, but it's benefiting now, so I'm not going to argue with it.
So it's 20 points of damage. And then, when it enters the wall for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there. So if it continues to be in the wall of fire on its turn, it'll take damage again.
Gotcha. All right.
And that will decidedly end my turn.
All right. After Gavin.
After Gavin are the martial artists, and then Rhiannon is on deck.
Right. So, Barca. Kind of out of the blue, for lack of a better term, kind of leaping off the various rooftops from stealth. The two martial artists that have been kind of dogging you will attack you. However, even with advantage on the first attack, an 11 I doubt will hit you. Wow. Apparently, they are the most inept martial artists of all.
Now they fear Barca.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Barca. However, they are going to continue with the rest of their attacks. No longer really with advantage, because the first attack pretty much takes care of that. But, 13. Does a 17 hit?
17 hits.
15 would have been the next highest. I'm assuming that doesn't hit. Okay,
not.
so one of them, they just kind of pummel you from all angles, but you see the one that hits you actually kind of hits you with not the blade of your axe, but takes almost like the bottom handle and cracks you across the face. So you'll take 7 damage. And then I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's not so bad. Dirty 20.
You are fine. You are not stunned.
After he cracks me in the face, I turn back and I spit a tooth out in his face.
Okay.
And get ready to make him pay for that.
That's fair. That is it for the martial artist. Who's next?
Rhiannon is next.
So now you're about 120 feet up, but you are stable.
Okay. Am I 120 feet from the whirling ball of death?
Yeah, roughly. Sure.
Okay. I will.
I mean, if you flew down a little bit to get closer, you definitely
Yeah.
Without a question.
Okay.
Depends on how much you want to come down.
Haste doesn't change our flying speed, so we're not going to bother with that. Okay, I will cast Guiding Bolt at Got the suck level. 4th level, because fuck this guy. I did not appreciate getting hit. Does an 18 hit it?
An 18 does hit it.
Oh god, good. Okay, and this is bolt 76. Those are d8s. I cast Guiding Bolt up the butt. I don't think it has a butt because it's all spherical and stuff.
I mean, one could argue that it's all butt.
I like that. I think it is all butt.
It's not all butt, it's all ball.
I don't know.
It's a one nut.
I mean, no judgment here. Especially all of the reasons. Oh, that is a shitty ass roll. Okay, we are fixing that. We're gonna go ahead and you burn a sorcery point to use a powered spell and re-roll those ones. All 3 of them. Fine. I still have the 2. Oh, that's much better. Okay. 2 of the 3 rolled 6s. 18. 20. 27 radiant damage. And the next person to try to hit it will have advantage.
Okay.
This thing looks hella fast. The Titan does not.
The Titans.
I mean, it's huge.
It's not so much fast as it has a fairly, being so large as it is, has a fairly long gait.
A long stride. Can I tell from the being 120-ish feet up? Can I tell which way Zaya would be?
You are so. If you imagine this is the surface and you guys are flying above,
Mm-hmm.
in the construction that's underneath, Zaya is kind of below.
Can Zaya be approached from any direction below, or only from a certain direction?
Only from the kind of the cave entrance that makes up the dry dock area.
Okay. Considering how high up we are,
through the tunnels.
Gotcha. Considering how high up we are and the explosion from the mansion, can I tell which direction I would need to go to get to Zaya?
Down.
Can I tell which direction around the city I would need to go to not have to go through tunnels?
We'll say that yes, there's probably a way off to the side, and you think, well, actually, we'll say even or odd for you. Why not?
Can I maybe roll like an investigation check or something to see if I could have noticed?
At this point, it's more of, it's not so much a point of knowing where to navigate. It's that with all the chaos of battle and running, and then now where you're at, kind of whether you were lucky enough to be on the side that would be closest to the opening and have the shortest.
Gotcha. Okay, evens.
And I rolled a 2, so you are closer to the side that is where the entrance to the dry dock would be.
Excellent. I will return the favor and grab Gavin's hand and haul him 60 feet in that direction.
Okay.
Towards the edge.
Okay, so you're kind of now sort of down and at an angle, still about 60 feet above the island in general, the floating island.
No. I want to stay up 120 feet. I want to just
Oh, you
straight
just want to go
across.
straight over. Okay.
Yeah, move laterally in the direction that we need to
Never
go.
I
mind.
want to get
Then you're
away.
just
I'm trying.
moving-
Yeah,
then
I'm
you're
trying
just
to get
moving
away from
straight
the
over.
whirling ball of death. And he hit me at 60 feet, so I don't want to be 60 feet away from him.
Now, I will say this much. There are a couple of airships that are above Skyhold.
Our airships?
No.
Oh.
There are other people's airships.
Oh. How many?
You will be, and you will definitely be getting. Now that you have kind of now that you have the bird's eye view, so to speak, you definitely see there are. It looks like 2 or 3 of the airships are approaching the docks area that you can see where Johnny and Tiernan's ships are currently still at.
Mm-hmm.
But you see there are also probably 3 or 4 more that are floating, about 120 to 150 feet, so kind of near the sort of somewhat around the level that you guys are at, that are potentially firing upon. Some look like they are firing upon the town, but you see they're more. They're kind of more in a holding pattern, as far as to kind of observe and make sure no one gets away, so to speak.
Okay, then I would, rather than doing that, I would have first looked at Gavin and said, up or around?
As we're going up, and I see you're gonna get on camera here. As we're up and see the airships that are kind of in a holding pattern. I imagine I wasn't aware of them because my perception's not great. But now we're on a level with them.
Yes.
I'm gonna kind of look. She's up or around, and I kind of look at her and be like, I don't know about you, but I kind of want an airship.
I love you. And so instead of going across, Rhiannon will go up about another 60 feet so that we're above the airships and can fuck shit up. Because why not? And that'll be the end of Rhiannon's turn. So it is the Gearkeeper and then the Inspired.
Well, that Gearkeeper rolls off and disappears into the town and the smoke and the fire and the flame and all that stuff. So
good, fuck him.
That for now.
Do you want me to take him off the list?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I tried.
Skip it for now until another one rolls into view.
Pretty much.
Okay. Also, I imagine once I got too far away from the Titan that the wall of fire would have dropped.
Yes, it did, but not before you saw the Titan fall into a burning wreck of pieces.
That was a terrifying combo. And
that was great.
We need to be able to do that again.
We do.
Admittedly, it only had like 6 hit points left, and realistically, it was going to burn before it got out. So,
yeah.
All
right. I think that's us.
Is that it for Rhiannon then?
It is. It is.
And who is next?
The Inspired.
You can move on from them. Actually, wait. I lied. Let's see, what's their range on that? Oh, actually their range is not bad on that. Okay.
Am I getting shot at?
You
Someone
and
is.
Gavin are getting shot at. pinpoint effect. We'll start with the ones on Rhiannon. You actually see there are on board some of the vessels. I mean, they see you, and you see a couple of archers do start taking some shots at you. Does a 13 hit you, Rhiannon?
No, my AC is 19.
Okay, so those shots will actually miss. Gavin, does a 22 hit you?
22 does hit me, yes.
And a 16 does not.
Nope.
So Gavin will take 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh, actually, and they're going to use. Actually, in addition to the 8, that's a. Actually, it'll be 17 total piercing.
Almost eats through my temporary hit points.
As they, you do see more of the most of the archers are kind of sniping targets of opportunity down on the town below, but you see as the first couple shoot up at you, you see a few more also kind of so. They are definitely drawn more to the attention of you and what's going on. For whatever that's worth. But that is it for the inspired. After that?
After that, it is Amaya with Barca on deck.
Okay, so Amaya.
Geyser!
I believe it is an action to engage the magic item, yes?
It is indeed an action to engage the magic item.
And as I recall, there's a version that's effectively like a fire hose geyser thing, correct?
Geyser, yes.
I'm assuming you're using that.
I am indeed using that. Hence, Geyser.
Okay, go ahead and make a... Yeah, you don't have to make a roll. It's a big old fire. You can hit it.
And Amaya would kind of know about, tar and the napalm type fires. So she's not, trying to just spread the water out over all of the fire. She's kind of trying to use it as, a pressure washer and, push out the fire.
That's fair. I just want to look up the device a little bit here, just in case there's one thing I want to double check real quick. This is just the decanter of endless water, correct?
Correct. And there is no need to brace or...
Okay, that's, I guess, what I was going to double check. But yeah, if it doesn't say...
No, I looked the item up at the end of the...
Nope, that's
before the flashback.
All right, so then you just start spraying.
Yep.
And hosing, as it were. And
Hosing.
It definitely helps to start work the kind of the burning oil, pushing it back.
And does it seem like more of an oil fire?
Yeah, it looks like they had probably put some oil and other easily flammable liquids. Judging by how quickly it spread, it was probably more of an oil than, say, like tar or pitch, where it doesn't. It's not a viscous liquid. It's a little bit more liquidy,
Gotcha.
More watery liquid, for lack of a better term.
So I'll probably also yell for Zaya to kind of angle herself a little bit, tip 15 degrees, to help kind of wash the burning oil and let it go off the side.
Okay. All right, and I'm assuming that'll probably take up your round doing that.
Yeah, it's an action to start spraying the water, and honestly, it's an action to say geyser every turn to keep it going.
Fair enough. So you start spraying. After Amaya.
After Amaya is Barca.
All right. How far away is said guy who's got my axe after he hit me with it?
They are both.
Or they hit me with it?
They are both in melee with you, so they're right. They're currently kind of flanking you.
Okay. Bark is going to do something he's done in the pits, and he's going to try something many times where he had to fight gladiators who had weapons when he didn't have a weapon. And he has a disarming technique that he does, and he gets down back in his stance, and he juts forward to try to get his hands on the stick of the axe, to push through them, and then somersault over their body and rip the axe out of their hands.
All right. We're gonna
using his momentum and his strength to like rip it out.
I like it. We're gonna call that an athletics roll.
All right.
You are raging.
I am raging.
So you'll have advantage on that. And they're gonna roll versus probably their acrobatics, which.
And I've been holding this in the whole time. I really think the gear master is looking for the cog keeper, but maybe that's too.
I love it.
And it's gonna bring the end of the
gear master. I gotta write that down.
All right. You said athletics?
Yes.
Let me go to that part of the sheet. Abilities. 22.
Yeah, they got nothing. You doubled their roll. So you flip over without any issue. You see they're both kind of immediately stunned that this big hulking furry brute has the agility to pull this off, to the point that they just kind of like the one holding the axe doesn't even like recognize that you just pop the axe out using your weight and leverage and agility to do so. In fact, neither one will necessarily get, or the one that would have maybe gotten attack of opportunity is not going to get one just because they're kind of dumbfounded. Now, I will say if you wanted, how about we do it like this? So we'll say that can be part of your attack action, will count as one of your attacks.
Oh, you're
But
generous.
I will say that because of all the acrobatics and stuff, you're going to be at half move this turn. As far as movement that's left over for whatever that's worth.
Oh, he's not going anywhere now. He turns kind of just like puts his axe in the right position and looks up and says, "Now you're fucked." And he takes just a big old swing.
All right.
Oh, here we go. And that is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that is.
It was a 26, but -5 for that. And that was, just so you know, that was reckless abandon. So you get advantage.
Okay, reckless and weapon master.
Yep.
Gotcha. I know, right?
I mean, if I get advantage, I guess you get an advantage too. Okay, so that's going to be... So that's going to be 20 points of slashing damage.
And it's just...
And that's the guy who was holding my axe.
Just the happiest little fucking kid.
Yeah.
I'm pretty focused now.
I'm reading.
Yeah, you get the axe in the correct, and you say you're fucked now, and just come through and slash a huge gash through the guy's torso, and they're not happy. Not happy at all.
That is Barca's turn.
Somewhere the crowd cheers.
The crowd cheers in Barca's brain all the time.
In fact, the problem with Barca's brain is getting them to shut the hell up. But
Yeah. Can I take the Warforged Titan off the list?
not off the list, but you can take. We can skip past it for now.
Cool. Love that for us.
Sorry, what was that?
The Fire Elemental. Did you mute us?
So
Okay.
the fire elemental, I forget what Ember was the last thing you said to it. Oh, if there were any others.
Yeah. If there were any others, recall them.
I do not know how long I was in the gem. I do not lead my brothers and sisters. You do. Princess. May I burn this place to the ground for you.
No, but I could probably find some people that you could.
And granted, this is like probably the first time you've really had a conversation with an elemental, and when you first say no, it starts to it kind of goes, but then you go, but you know some people, and it's like, so you see, and so it just kind of eagerly awaits your direction. And just kind of floats there, and that's all it's going to do. So we can get past the elemental, the next thing.
Good.
Bottom of the round.
Right. So 10, 20, 25. Oh, that's not good. 25, 45, 50. 50, Zaya will take 53 damage.
Oh.
Which admittedly, I was rolling less dice. I totally was. But the dice rolled way better for me. So, yeah. There's that. And that's going to be about it for that. So yeah, end of the round. So now it's top of the turn, which I believe was
Ember.
Crap. Shoot. First, I want to look. Can I see Zaya from here?
No. No, you're still kind of on the top side, and you remember Zaya is in the dry dock area, but it's kind of below.
Okay. I'm going to start running. Or, yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah, I yelled for Gullik. He's on his own now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell. What's your name?
I do not have a name. I only wish to burn.
Okay. Pete. I'm gonna call you Pete. Pete, follow me.
You missed the moment for Bernie. Come on.
And
I didn't want to stereotype.
But here's the funny thing: as it follows along, you hear it kind of go, "Pete burns," and then just kind of.
A good Smoky. Oh, I should have called you. You're Smoky. Never mind. Come here, Smoky. Yeah, and I'm gonna just start flying, running down the street, towards Zaya Dock.
Okay. Go ahead and I will say.
I have no idea where I'm going.
No, that's fair. Go ahead and make a perception roll, because honestly, with all the fire and the smoke,
Yep.
and the random rain of arrows and other things, and some screams here and there.
Goody, 14.
Okay.
I'm doing great.
You think you know where you're at and where you need to go.
Cool. I'm going to start running in that direction.
Okay.
Keeping my eye and ear open for Barca, for Gavin, Rhiannon.
Okay. After.
I assume Amaya's already at Zaya.
Okay, after Ember, then who's next?
After Ember is Gavin with the martial artists on deck.
I'm just going to keep pinging Zaya also.
That's fair.
I mean, unless there's something directly in range, I'm going to keep moving feet towards a convenient airship. I'll move and dash, tugging Rhiannon behind me, so I can move up to 120.
Okay. Now, just to let you know, I'd say like 3 of the airships are probably of similar size to the ones that you guys captured. But there is a kind of more larger traditional one that's, the larger traditional ones have usually been about the size of, almost double the size of Zaya, because they meant to be kind of a combination of cargo transport as well as almost kind of a cruise liner, I'd say, because I mean their passenger complement was like freaking 150 or something. So I mean,
yeah,
they could load a lot of people. So, but you notice, I mean, all of them are kind of the ones that are floating above are definitely kind of filled to the gills with different sorts of. All sorts of random people, a lot of Warforged, and every once in a while you'll see a few that look more, for lack of a better term, sort of inspired / Kalashtar-y in terms of dress or that sort of. Well, at first you'd almost say Kalashtar, and then they give you that creepy look like they're staring through your soul. That's like, yeah, that's not Kalashtar. That's definitely creeping the fuck out, kind of inspired cultist sort of thingy.
Right, so as we're going, I'm kind of talking to Rhiannon, and I'm like, first and foremost, I need to know, do you have Misty Step ready to go?
Always?
Good. Secondly, this is not a we're going to take and use, this is going to be a we're going to take out.
Oh.
I don't know that we have the capability, just you and me.
For what it's worth, you realize that the ships up above, I mean, yeah, you could take one out, it might help, but you know the ships that would get more immediate help if you took out an airship were the ones that were which would be Johnny and Tiernan's ships. If you could take out some of the airships that were currently attacking them, you know that would probably have a bigger impact.
Then I'm going to we'll be heading in that direction.
Okay.
So I will move and dash in a direction to help out Johnny and Tiernan.
All right. All right. So we'll say, with where you are, with the move and a dash, we'll say you're going to be maybe about, we'll call it like 70-ish feet above where they are in general.
Excellent.
Okay. Awesome. You can actually do something this turn.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right. That will be it for me.
All right. After Gavin are the martial artists.
Right. They are going to attack the Barkinator. You went reckless, so they have advantage.
Like,
Does a 23 hit you?
yeah, that'll
Does a 17 hit you?
yes, that'll hit as well.
And then... Okay, so the first one will hit you twice. The other guy, 17 will hit, so that'll hit, and then that'll miss. So they each hit you twice. So that'll be 14 damage between the two attacks from the first one. So
Okay.
7 and 7. And then you need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Uh, 19 on the die.
You're good. The other one is going to hit you for 7 and 7. And then you're going to have to make a con saving throw.
That is much less. Hold on 1 second here. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thanks to those temporary hit points, I'm actually not doing that bad.
On the
Con.
the damage
con.
on it doesn't hurt either.
Plus 7. 13.
A 13 is fine. You are not stunned. But I mean, if you imagine, any of those movies where they have like your Western action hero going up against a bunch of kung fu experts that are just spinning around in this flurry of arms and legs and just beating the shit out of them, that's kind of what's happening here. I mean, it doesn't help them that every time you attack, it's so vicious and brutal and deadly that it damn near knocks them off their feet. But I imagine that kind of interplay is very much what is kind of occurring. That is it for the martial artist. Who's next?
Excellent. Rhiannon is next with the skipping the gear keeper. The inspired would be after Rhiannon.
Okay.
So we are, you said, about 70 feet above the ships?
Yes, so there are currently 2 for each berth where the newly recaptured airships are. There are 2 enemy airships that are currently kind of coming up and kind of doing somewhat a similar maneuver to what you guys did when you originally stole the airships back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of broadsiding and unleashing, arrows and various artillery, catapults or ballista or whatever. They're kind of having this protracted battle with the airship crews that are.
How far apart are they?
I mean, they're far enough apart that they're not going to necessarily get in each other's way. So I'd say maybe 50, 60 feet apart, give or take.
60 feet apart?
Yeah, we'll call it
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Don't judge me, angry Barca face. Don't judge me.
Oh, it's judging you.
No.
Okay. I will very simply drop a fireball on the closest one to me.
Okay.
We'll save that. Oh, I don't like running out of spells. You know what? It's 8d6 even at 3rd level, so we're gonna cast it at 3rd level.
Fireball is still nasty at its base.
Fireball instead of fireball.
Fireball is indeed going to fireball.
Oh, okay. That was a good roll. Only one. 34 points of fire damage. The flame spreads around corners and it does ignite flammable objects in the area.
So yeah,
Oh, sorry. Anybody in in the sphere does get a dex save.
yeah, I rolled. They
Okay.
got like a 6.
Okay.
So apparently they were more which kind of makes sense. They were more focused on taking on the airships.
Yeah, and we're just
Yeah.
tiny little specks until we're not.
All of a sudden, to hear and really no one's expecting, like they're expecting airships in the air. They're not expecting 2 people flying hand in hand, fucking Mary Poppins it with fireballs raining down. Like no one's expecting that. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah. I will.
You catch a good chunk of them in the fireball. You hear cries of pain and ow.
This is more like Fern Gully. Nobody's holding an umbrella above their heads here.
It's very true. I know what my lover's capabilities are, so I am going to let go of his hand and give him a little kiss on the cheek in case he wants to go off on his own, but I will hand at the ready if he wants to grab Rhiannon again, but just giving him the freedom that he can go if he needs to.
Sure.
And that I think is gonna be the wrong tab. That is also the wrong tab. Let me check one thing right quick. Sorry. So sorry. Whoop. It's bonus action. Okay. Wait. Okay. All right. I will, as a bonus. You know what? No, we'll save that. We're gonna save that for now. That'll be it for me for now.
Okay, after Rhiannon.
So skipping the Gearkeeper, it would be the Inspired's turn.
Right. So the Inspired, those that are admittedly not currently burning to death, or shall I say, there are a few are going to try to take some pot shots at you and at Rhiannon and Gavin.
We are 70 feet away.
Yeah, but like a crossbow is like 80 feet base, and if they have longbows, that's even longer.
They have longbows, yeah, it's not really
Okay.
We are well within range.
So Rhiannon, does a 15 hit you?
No.
Does an 18 hit you?
No.
Okay. Gavin, well, I doubt an 8 hits you. Does a 25, no, 23 hit you?
Yes, a 23 does hit me.
So take 8 piercing damage as one arrow seems to kind of get in between the joints of your half plate.
Yes.
But there are several arrows that get kind of fired up at you from the ship that you just nuked, the survivors. And what the hell? They'll even do one. And as you guys kind of duck from that, and you're like, "Oh crap!" They kind of notice us. You see this large, probably 4 foot long ballista bolt go flying by you as well. However, they are, and that one's actually coming from above. However, they shot fairly wide of the mark. You see one of the airships from above is starting to kind of slowly start floating down after you. And that is it for the inspired currently.
Then it will be Amaya with Barca on deck.
Geyser!
You geyser away.
I geyser away and desperately keep trying to put out the flames. I'm probably shouting orders at all of the goblins and other people on board to try to help and get water and
Go
tarps
ahead
to put out the fire.
and we'll call this a. Go ahead and make a. We'll say like a straight dexterity roll.
Straight dexterity. 15.
Okay. I'm going to say you're able to get the rest of the fire out.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, there's maybe a couple of little glowing embers here and there, but you've got the flames out.
Right.
And which also helps because that means you also kind of put out Kaladin, who is alive but unconscious.
Oh boy. And then the other airships in the place are on fire too. Yeah.
No. So the skeletal frame of the airship that's in the dry dock is not aflame. Like the sky coach that was aiming for your vessel specifically, and the wreckage of it is still sitting on top of on kind of the bow of Zaya, but I mean it's also put out. It's no longer
right. So the like Tiernan and the others just went to secure the other ships to make sure they didn't get stolen back.
Well, and admittedly to probably try to get them the hell out of there so they don't get captured, because you are briefly, well, your passive perception's huge. You saw there were several airships above, so they you know there were, I guess, several of them. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Then I guess the next order of business will be getting the wreckage off of the ship. So we'll have the crew drag Kaladin inside, have everybody kind of secure themselves, and then we'll go through our practiced barrel roll maneuver.
Okay.
Yes!
So are you then flying out of the...
Yeah, we'll fly a little bit out so we've got the space for it and so that nobody else can board the ship and all of that.
So Zaya starts to pull their way out, and she indeed does the barrel roll, and you and all the goblins and everyone gets the sees the little like vines and tendrils of Zaya kind of wrap around boots and whatnot, and hand holds to hold on to. As sure enough, she's able to kind of turn coming out and bank sharply to see to have the wreckage fall off. You do see kind of where you're coming out from. There are actually, as Zaya's coming out, you do see immediately above you there are about four. There appear to be 4 airships that are kind of on the same rough plane as Tiernan's and Johnny's airships, newly acquired airships, and are in the process of shooting the crap out of each other. And what's your passive perception again?
19.
So you do see, lit by flames coming off the top of one of these boats, you see the lovely image of Rhiannon and Gavin starting to, well, they're not falling fast enough to fall, so flying towards these airships. And for Gavin and Rhiannon, you see Zaya starting to pull out of the dry dock.
Oh, thank God.
All right. Then after the barrel roll, we're going to start heading towards the other airships to join in the fight.
Okay. All right.
After Amaya is Barca, and then the elemental.
Right. Well, we'll just continue wrecking these guys' lives up a little bit.
Yeah.
But they grown, they made their decisions. That would be a.
May I ask, are you continuing to attack the one you attacked before?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a 23.
That'll hit.
All right. Three, 6.
And are you doing the reckless thing again?
Yep.
Okay.
You can just assume until I tell you differently that I'm using reckless. 21 points of slashing damage on that.
Still up, but definitely hugely bloodied.
Right on. Going again. That is a 18.
That will hit.
Ooh, good. That's much better. That'll be 14. So 29 points of slashing damage.
So you... So you kind of like come in with sort of an uppercut with your axe, for lack of a better term, and nail the one in the genitals, for lack of a better term. And then with your second hit, you just kind of kick their foot out from underneath them, so their body falls onto the blade, kind of vivisecting themselves in half. And and then kind of look over at the other guy, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, you cut that guy down. There's not even a question of like bleeding out at this point. They're just dead.
And there's still that emotional issues that Bark is processing through. So he's just like screams that guy all the way down as he falls onto the blade, and then gets up and looks at the guy right next to him. Yeah, Bark looks a little intense these days.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
A little bit. Okay. After Barca would be the elemental.
So the elemental follows. You do see Ember as you go along. When you look back, just to make sure the elemental is following, because if you're flying, you are technically a little bit faster. But you see as it's going along, it's keeping pace, because it's sort of excited with this whole idea of, I get to burn people. But every once in a while, you'll see it'll just be like, do. There's a wall. Oh, I happen to brush my arm against it, causing it to light on fire. Oh, do, and kind of keeps, like, it's just, I mean, it's a very simple-minded creature, but
I know.
it's trying to fulfill its purpose, and it wants to obey you to the best of its ability, but it's kind of like telling a toddler not to do something. Like, it's
Yeah, and running through a candy store.
right. So you, but at any rate, it does follow you, and we're gonna say no. We'll deal with that on your turn. But otherwise, it's still with you. It's still following your lead.
Yeah, because I believe I'm a little bit faster, so I should be like 10 feet ahead of it.
Yes, give or take. Yeah. Yes, because it's.
Fly is faster than there.
Yeah, I think it moves at like 50 to your 60. So.
If the elemental is done, it's the bottom of the round and then Ember's turn.
So, Gavin, I do apologize. Technically, you did get shot. Can you make your concentration roll?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, crap.
I mean, the DC is going to be like 10, so it's probably not horrible.
I'll roll it twice because I got hit twice. That was a 21 and a 17.
Yeah.
Should be good.
And both should be fine. I don't think you got hit I only think you got one arrow hit. As I recall, it was only like 7 or 8 damage, so that should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then. Sorry, so then whose turn
So
is
bottom
it?
of the round.
Bottom of the round.
Zaya?
So you see one of the ships that is in front of where Johnny's. In front of Johnny's airship. You see a lot of kind of like magical battle kind of going off. As you see on that ship, on the enemy ship, you see what looks to be Gullick, kind of doing a combination of shooting off fire and swinging his sword. And you see standing kind of behind him, firing off these what you can only determine as eldritch blasts that of various types. You see standing kind of behind him, back to back, is a Zero, firing off all sorts of stuff. But they are more or less taking on one of the airships to allow Johnny. And you see on Johnny's airship, so to speak, he's commanding the crew to and you see they're starting to pull away from the dock. As far as what that's going on, Tiernan, however, does not necessarily have a Gullick and Azira and Johnny to help him, so his ship is still a little bit has not gotten to the point yet where they're ready to take off, but they are, like, his crew is kind of firing off what shots they have towards the other ships and whatnot. And it seems like they are focusing fire on the ship that just got fireballed, because, why not? But it seems to be kind of a chaotic mess as battle is. And yeah, that's about it. So top of the round.
Top of the round is Ember with Gavin on deck.
First things first, anything from Zaya?
You've not... actually... Zaya will ping to Barca and Ember. and Rhiannon and Gavin. Oh, thank God the fire's out. We're starting to pull out of the dry dock, and we're trying to help the other airship captains to escape. If you're
Gotcha.
You said that to all the ground party?
yes.
Noted.
We're there now, helping Johnny and Tiernan.
Okay.
Crap. I'm gonna ask Zaya. Do you know where Bark is?
He's still on. I think he's still on Skyhold. He's fighting people like Mom, and you get this like brief like deluge of images of all these like kung fu moves that I can't do because I don't know kung fu.
The lesser known line from The Matrix.
Right? Yeah. No, that was the original line in the script, and then they scratched it out. And it's like, I know kung fu, and they're like, aha! Now we have something.
Now we have something. Let's make a movie about it.
More a line from Kill Bill, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go. I'm gonna beeline it or try to find that location. Can I like figure out?
Yeah. Go and make another. Go and make another perception roll.
Oh, for flip set 14.
You actually do think you can figure it out because, I mean, to those that are flying the airships that are attacking the port, for lack of a better term, the berthing or the whatever you want to call it, the piers. They look roughly even, but they are kind of up a little bit, so you can kind of see, being on the ground, kind of where they are at. You do also see there is at least one airship from up above that's kind of also coming down towards that angle. Like there's another one that looks like it is about ready to attack.
Ready to attack the ground?
Ready to attack. You're guessing the docks where Johnny and Tiernan's ships are parked.
I gotta find Barca first. I'm running.
Even or odd?
Even.
Okay. I will let you know what happens.
Oh no.
So are you just kind of moving and dashing more or less?
Yeah, I'm moving and dashing.
Okay.
Because at this point, I'm search and rescue.
You are able to get to, we'll call it like a bit of a clearing where you do see the Tiernan's airship, and you see Johnny's airship has already started to pull off a bit. However, as quickly as you can kind of see that, eyeball that, and you're probably still about a good, I don't know, probably 90 feet lengthwise from Johnny's ship and maybe 60, 75 feet from Tiernan's, roughly.
Sure.
But the other thing that you see, since I rolled odd, and you said otherwise, or whatever it was, you do see this kind of scary, sharpened, ball-like contraption with all sorts of bladed arms and whatever kind of roll out of another alleyway and start to make its beeline towards you.
Were you running or were you flying?
Well,
I
she was running.
I was I'm like floating above the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ember's got the fly spell.
Yeah.
But
But then I picked up a not flying passenger
yeah, because
that I
we'll
can't
say,
carry.
because Rhiannon and Gavin, what's your passive perceptions?
Perception 17.
Yeah, you see like a orange and blue flame kind of come into the opening near where the piers are, which you take as well. The blue is kind of a smaller lit flame because admittedly it's just your hair, you're not your entire body.
Yes.
But is literally followed by a inferno of bonfire likeness. So it looks like from where you're at that Ember has made friends with fire.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me though.
No, it tracks.
Yeah.
But yes, I will point to the whirling blade contraption and order Smoky Pete. Smoky Pete! I found something you can burn.
Okay. All right. And is that it for your turn then, Ember?
Yes.
After Ember.
After Ember is Gavin.
Okay, so, the asshole that just shot a ballista bolt at us, how high up is he?
We'll say they're closing fairly fast, so we'll call them 40 feet away.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. With my 60-foot fly speed, I'm going to land 5 feet away from the helms person.
So we'll say 40 feet from the
Edge.
like the bow of the ship.
Okay.
So if you're flying 60, you'd be 20 foot up, so you'd still be kind of on the forecastle area, as far as just with a single move of 60 feet.
Would a 30-foot misty step take me the rest of the way?
That's a good question. Let me grab one of my little airship things to.
Map.
So tell you what, for ease of reference. Zoink. There we go. Okay, so your fly. So we'll say with just your one move for fly, that would get you to like there. And 10, 20. 30 would get you to
Mid.
kind of closer to this area. It wouldn't quite get you to the command section. But it would get you like within where the within where the elemental spire is, which is its own thing.
No, that is a very good point. I can see where the elemental gem is. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's somewhere within this section. However, the doors are closed, and there are some guards because there are obviously that is a section of the ship that if it got damaged will prove capable. So they do have some guards, but there are also crews that are firing ballistas and stuff that are like as you fly up, they kind of look at you like what the hell, and then wherever you're at. But I mean, they are loaded with various crew doing things, for lack of a better term.
Okay. I'm gonna Misty
This
Step.
isn't even necessarily all the people. They're definitely,
Right.
but it gives you an idea at any rate.
This is probably stupid. Honestly, this is probably stupid.
I mean, I made friends with a fire elemental.
You're a princess, apparently.
Apparently. News to me.
All right, I'm gonna bonus action. I'm gonna Misty Step as close to that helmsman as I can, and then I'm going to repelling blast him straight back. Hopefully, as far as I can.
Okay, we're gonna say with just the height and everything, they're probably gonna get like cover. Not that it'll really. I mean, it'll give them a little AC bonus, but you can still.
Well, and here's the thing, like I'm probably still flying, so I would Misty Step like at least level with him, where I could get a clear shot.
Fair enough. Okay.
Like wouldn't land on the deck because don't really care for melee right now. 23 and 19.
Yeah, those will both hit actually.
Okay, 14 and 13 points of damage, and he is blasted straight back 10 or 20 feet.
All right.
Kind of hoping that puts him off the ship.
And he goes full Wilhelm and gets blasted off the ship.
Awesome. So yeah, those chains shoot out of my arms and just kind of both times, wham, wham, and shoot him off the ship.
Okay.
Currently, they don't have a helmsman. I am fully out of action, so I am done.
Now, I will say this: they don't have a helmsman. However, the helmsman gear is still in working order.
I am well aware.
Okay.
After Gavin are the martial artists, and then Rhiannon.
Well, the martial artiste is going to attack Barca. However, Barca did reckless, so they are still going to attack with advantage. But I doubt a 13 is going to hit you. Does a 19 hit you?
Yep.
And then the last attack, does an 18 hit you?
Yep.
Okay, so that will be 7 damage and another 7 damage, and then make a dexterity saving throw. Or actually, no, sorry, Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20 on that one.
Yep, you are not stunned. All right.
What a waste of a 20.
That is it for the martial artist.
Excellent. It's Rhiannon's turn.
Angry Barca again.
Okay, so there is the ship that I fireballed. There's the ship that's coming down on top of me.
Yes.
We do not like this at all. It's really rude. Is really what I'm looking at here. I am going to. I'm underneath this. This is fine. No way could this go poorly. I'm going to look up at this ship.
So,
How
okay.
long is the ship?
Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. No. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. A little over 100, maybe 110, 120.
Cool.
19.
I am
Roughly.
going to take my staff and once again cast Wall of Fire centered on the center point of the ship, running long ways, 60 feet of fire, 20 feet high.
Okay.
You just throw it at midships. You don't even have to do it on deck. Or does it have to be a point that you can see?
No, I'm casting it on the bottom of the ship.
You have never been hotter to me than you are right now.
So you're
20
casting
feet high.
on the keel of the ship, the underside.
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll go 20 feet up through the ship.
Okay.
So the ship can make a dex save? Yes.
You're literally hitting something that's bigger than the broadside of a barn.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm
okay.
Not gonna...
I'm like, I mean, technically.
And the only pilot that could possibly react to it has fallen off of the
Just
vessel.
got yeeted off the vessel. Nobody knows that I'm there.
You're hitting the ship. Like, it's not even a
Excellent. Okay. Just, allowing for maybe I don't know things. What is gonna be... Oh, that's a pretty good. Okay. 5, 10, 8. That's nice because those add up to 8s. 8 times 3 is 24, so 24 fire damage, and it catches and spreads, and they can't get away from it because it's cast on their hull. We'll say that the Bernie side of the flame is the side away from Rhiannon. So any creatures that are within 10 feet of that side of the wall also have to make a saving throw as it appears.
Okay.
Anybody that fails the save will take 24 damage or half for a successful save.
Now, just to let you know, a wall of fire is stationary.
Yes, that's why I cast it on the ship.
Right, so the ship is going to burn, but once it moves past where the wall of fire is, it's
right.
No.
But I cast it off on the physical ship. The ship is catching fire.
So,
you mean like a wall on the deck of the ship?
So
yeah, but like on the outside.
So it says you have to cast it on a solid surface. It's a solid surface.
Yeah.
You make the wall 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick, or the ringed wall.
Yes. I will point out that the spell does not state that I have to be able to see the solid surface. So if this is an issue, I will have cast it just inside the keel of the ship.
Well, no, you still have to have line of effect to what you're hitting. You can't see, unless you have x-ray vision, you can't see inside the ship.
It doesn't say you have to see inside the ship.
Yes, but basic spellcasting tells you have to have line of effect to where you're laying down the fire. At least that's what I would argue.
I disagree. You're the GM, but if a spell doesn't say that I have to see where I'm casting it, I shouldn't have to see where I'm casting it.
Spells in general, you have to have line of effect to where you're hitting. So, like, if you're casting the wall of fire And so the trick is, being that you're doing it on the bottom of the ship, you can see the bottom. Well,
I would argue maybe that it would have to be a solid surface that you can see, but that the wall of fire would be anchored wherever that solid surface it's sprouting out of is. So it would basically be a wall of fire sticking out of the bottom of the ship, going along with it. And if anything else happened to cross through that wall of fire sticking out of the bottom of the ship, it's going to have a rough time too.
Not what the spell says, though.
well, let me look something up real quick. Hold on a second. While I'm looking up, feel free to pimp your Twitch stream.
Where's he go?
Go, Jeebus. That's me. Hey everybody, I am Kip, the Seven-Tailed Fox, Tale. That's the name of the channel, Seven-Tailed Fox. We stream on Twitch kind of whenever we can. I try to stream most days. Oftentimes I succeed, but we try to collect some stories, have some cozy vibes, share some chill times, and hang out with the community. So if you're bored or looking for a new streamer to watch or want to see what we're all about, feel free to come on by, vibe with us. We'd be happy to have you there.
I will also throw out there that y'all should go follow our friend Nick at epic_realms. He does a lot of RPG content. He does a lot of video game content. He does runs his podcast where he interviews people in the industry, gaming, and kind of branching out into novels and comic books, rumblings of potentially the movie industry, but we don't know for sure, and that may just be completely apocryphal on my part. I have no fucking clue. But he's had a lot of really big names on the show. And so he's a lot of fun to watch. He does his interviews every other Monday, and he's booked out till fucking God knows when. I know he's going to have Bob Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore on. If you're not familiar with him, he's one of the...
He's gonna have Salvatore on?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, holy
He's
shit.
super excited. But yeah, he's going to get Bob Salvatore on the show. If you're not familiar who Salvatore is, he's the guy that invented the character of Drow, who's one of the kind of main quintessential characters in Forgotten Realms lore. So,
Well, and for that matter, not only the extremely successful Driss novels, but for all intents and purposes, really fleshed out the Drow society in general.
yes, he absolutely did do that. Like, the Drow basically just...
And is an amazing author. Just
He's a good author. He's a funny guy. I'm going to see if I can get him to tell the Wubba Wubba story so I can stop telling it for him. But yeah. I'm out of shilling, Brian, so you better have an answer.
No, that's all right. All right. So the wall of fire will work as you say. I did, however, look something up. Even if you're casting a spell off an item, if the spell requires concentration, you do have to concentrate on it.
Oh, good to know.
It is good to know. Didn't think you did. Apologies. Thank you for that.
Won't matter in so much as this, but there you go.
Okay. No, that's good to know for the future. Thank you. So yes, wall of fire.
Awful deck saves.
Catching deck saves.
The ship's not going to get a deck save.
The ship doesn't, but if there's anybody on the ship within 10 feet of that wall of fire.
Or like below deck.
Like below deck. I don't know how tall the ship is.
Which, admittedly, there's probably no one below deck right now.
Yeah, probably not.
Combat.
Which is fine. I'll just burn through their ship without them knowing about it.
But yeah. That works.
And then I will fly my 60 feet to GTFO out from under the ship.
That's fair. Oh, pardon me. After Rhiannon.
After Rhiannon, pardon me, it's
Oh,
contagious.
stop it.
Is the gate the gearkeeper? Sorry, Ember.
Right. So the Gearkeeper construct is going to take a swing. It rolls up and it's going to take a swing at you, Ember, and it's going to take a swing at the fire elemental. As you see it, it kind of rolls up and slashes out with its little army blades of horribleness.
Oh boy.
Nat 1's you.
Yay!
However, hits the
Secret
fire elemental.
Ninja Ember.
Okay, so 18 elemental normally has 102 hit points. It is nothing saying that it's technically magical, so that would be that. God, it's gonna be fucking werewolves versus skeletons again. It's just gonna take forever. So, in reference to that, back in the day, playing 3rd edition. Quick story. The 3rd edition had slightly different damage reductions compared to the resistances that they kind of simplified in 5th ed.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it depended on what you were attacking with, and it could be. So at any rate, skeletons had damage reduction versus slashing and piercing because they're a skeleton. You have to bash them, and werewolves had damage reduction versus weapons that weren't silver or magic. And literally there was some sort of battle, and I wasn't actually there for it, but I've been told the story many times, where werewolves were fighting skeletons, and because of the damage reduction, neither one could actually hurt the other. So it was like this long, drawn-out combat, because the werewolves had claws and fangs, which were slashing and piercing damage, and the skeletons didn't have silver, so they couldn't hit hard enough. So it was literally just like, at any rate. And I fear the battle with the Gatekeeper and the Fire Elemental is going to be very same.
But the Fire Elemental will be happy.
The Fire Elemental will attempt to be happy, yes. So this thing, it almost kind of, it misses you as it almost kind of bounces over you to get to the Fire Elemental and swings out and chops into the Fire Elemental, and you hear it kind of bellow out in a gout of rage flame as it does take some damage. Not much, but a little. That is it for the Gearkeeper construct. Who is next?
The Inspired are next.
Great, this is where I die.
Don't die.
So the ones that are up on the poop deck, the command deck, there are going to run and dive on the controls to steer the vessel. However, there are a few, Gavin, that are going to take shots at you. Because admittedly they are, we're going to say there's going to be 4 that are shooting at you, Gavin, and we'll call it 2 that are going to be shooting at Rhiannon.
I'm under the deck. I'm under the ship.
Oh,
So these would be 2. Yeah, that's a good point.
Admittedly, we'll say the 2 are shooting up then.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But regardless, they're rolling crappy, maybe because their ship is not currently being piloted and is going willy-nilly. Funny how that happens.
They're a little distracted.
The highest one I got was like a 21. Everything past that was like a 15 or less.
21 will hit, everything else will miss.
So the 21 will hit for 8 piercing damage.
Okay, let me roll my concentration. Hey, we don't plummet to our doom.
Woo.
That's
Okay.
total of 19.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, and then and then for Rhiannon, does a 17 or 18 hit you?
Nope.
All right.
I'm really glad we got me that chest plate, guys.
Well, and in
Really
fact, there's a
glad.
few times where you hear a ting, and you're like, what the hell? Oh, and then you like look, and then you see another arrow ting, and like bounce off you, and you're like, thank God, breastplate. Woo.
I'd be a pincushion.
That is it for the inspired.
Excellent. It is Amaya and then Barca.
So, Amaya, at this point, unless you're gonna more or less do something on your own per se, if you want to sort of in general give like actions to your crew, so to speak, like to give them orders.
Well, I actually kind of think that Gavin had a pretty decent idea of boarding a ship, taking out their helmsman, and making the ship less effective. So I think Amaya might try to recreate that.
Okay.
I love this for you.
So currently you are you're kind of pulling out from underneath Skyfold. There are the two ships that are attacking Tiernan's ship are kind of up above you a little bit, as well as Tiernan's ship for that matter. You do see a flaming airship kind of coming down to also engage or crash, depending on how things are going. That you that anyway, you don't necessarily know what caused it because of the chaos of combat, but
You can guess.
that is what you currently see. You do see, taking a quick look, you do see over on the other, kind of the other, off of the other pier, you see Johnny's ship kind of is dropping down and banking away. You do see of the two ships that were kind of trying to pen Johnny's ship in, you see one starts to give chase, and you see the other one looks like it's going to, and then all of a sudden you see its flame ring just kind of goes, and,
Oh.
and the ring disappears, and you see the ship start to speed on its way, and even with all the sounds in battle, you do hear quite a few screams coming from that ship as it starts to plummet down to Shargan's teeth below.
Okay, well, I'm not going to try to board that one.
But
Sorry, that was loud.
On attacking Tiernan's ship, there are still two airships that are. I mean, they're giving back and forth with Tiernan's ship,
Right.
but they're still.
Yep. I will, I guess, go for whichever one of those is closer and start working on that one.
So you have to get up to them. How are you going to do that?
I am going to have Zaya do basically a flyby and just kind of, as Zaya passes by the one ship, I leap off and onto the other ship.
Okay. Go ahead and make your go ahead and make your acrobatics roll, we'll call
it. Dirty 20.
Okay. So we're gonna do this and get this guy out of the way for now, but we'll keep it over here in case we need it. Man, I'm glad I made a couple of airship maps. What do you know? It conveniently looks exactly like the other one. Sorry, we're just gonna dump a bunch of guys. Yada
Well,
yada.
I mean, they
yada.
were mass produced, so it's like a cookie cutter airship.
Bunch of guys. Yada yada yada. Hey, what do you know? Eagle. All right. So with that acrobatics, where are you trying to land on the back area?
Yeah, I'm trying to land real close to the kind of control area.
Okay.
Hey, no, not on the back of the couch. Thank you. Honey.
So this is more or less what you see. There's kind of several gunners manning their various weaponry. You kind of leap onto the back deck. Considering she was kind of coming in from the backside, we could probably call it, we'll call it 25 feet of movement.
Okay. Is there any chance that I could kind of take an action while I'm like in the air and about to hop off?
Yes.
Cool, because I want to do the same opening that I did last time with my searing sunburst
Yes.
Oh, okay.
on the back platform there with that 20-foot radius.
If you center it pretty much right in the middle, you should be able to get all of them.
Beautiful. I'm going to do that. I'm going to pump 3 key points into it, and they all get to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, right. That's Constitution. Yeah.
DC is still 17.
Okay, we'll roll. This will be for the guys on the right. That 1, not good. Roll for the guys on the left. 3, not great. And the guys in the middle. Guys in the middle got a 17.
Ah, they just barely make it.
So the gunner, basically, the gunners who are facing out, because they're gunning, don't see this coming. However, the pilot goes, ah, as you nuke them with light.
All right. Well, the 2 that see it coming and get the 17, they're fine. The others will all take 30 points of radiant damage.
Oh, dear God.
Jesus.
They are all hurting. They are still up, but they are effectively, like, bloodied and
Gave
horribly
them
burned.
migraines.
And then Amaya will land on kind of the back of the ship there.
Ha, okay. Now, I will say at this point, they now all know you are there.
They, I'm sure, do. So, as my bonus action, I'm going to pop 1 more key point and dodge.
Okay.
I feel like that's prudent.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that will be my turn.
Okay.
After Amaya is Barga.
Barga.
Well, I'm going to continue wailing on this guy.
Please do.
All right, a 19 to hit.
Yes, that'll hit.
Okay, that'll be for 20 points of slashing.
Ugh. Okay.
And then Natural 20.
Yes.
I mean, it might hit. Just kidding.
No, I was reading my rules for natural 20 because they change as you get.
Oh yeah, because you've got the barbarian. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ugh.
Oh, and that's really good. Okay, so that's 30, 4, 3, 5. 48 points of slashing damage.
They're dead.
Just cleave them
Oh.
right down the center. Just split them right in two. Still angry and processing a lot of things he doesn't understand, except for the fact that he'll never hurt a loved one ever again. But anything else is right now in a pure bloodlust for Barca in his confusion. And why are people attacking? We were having fun. Life is horrible. I'm going to start sprinting to go attack. Basically, the first thing I see.
So Barca, you do see what looks like a series of gouts of flame or explosions kind of coming, like a few kind of buildings down and whatnot.
Do I hear any action near me, like within like the streets? Because I'll know flying up to those ships will be a touchy subject with Barca at the moment.
Not at the, well, actually you do see like making a beeline towards you after kind of coming around a corner, just flapping its wings furiously. You see this little white kind of cockatiel bird kind of making a beeline for you.
Oh no. God damn it.
Senor, we need to get out of here.
Right. I will start running towards the bird.
Okay.
Yep.
You can get up to the bird. That's not a...
I mean, it's as yeah. Okay, Barca kill, Barca smash. You know, it's typical Barca. And just kind of sits there, waits for the bird to respond, but currently is following the bird.
Sure.
I don't have another action, so.
No, that's fine. After Barca.
Skipping the Warforged Titan, it is the Elemental, and then the bottom of the round.
Oh my, so the Elemental rolled very well. And critted. You see the Elemental starts out shouting gleefully in Ignan, burn! And then, and you see is just smashing at the sphere with no appreciable effect.
Yeah.
And then as the second hit, which should have been like a dead on, like I'm going to incinerate you from the inside, hits it, a big flare of fire come up, and then you hear burn, and as it keeps hammering away at it again with no appreciable effect.
I feel bad for it now.
I feel bad. Bottom of the round.
Okay, bottom of the round. No, I actually did the big burst of light. They'd know that was something. So, you do see Johnny's ship kind of do a hard. Honestly, Johnny's ship is starting to pull off some maneuvers that honestly, it's fairly impressive if you didn't fly on your own sentient airship that can make tighter turns and react a little bit quicker. But admittedly, he's pulling off some maneuvers that are a bit crazy, and does kind of a strafing run against the ship that Amaya's not on, but that it is attacking Tiernan. Admittedly, the other airship that was on Johnny is kind of giving chase, so it's like this weird sort of dogfight with. And you do see that up above, several of the other airships that were kind of laying in wait are starting to make their descent to come into play. So, admittedly, it's a whole lot of airship coming your way.
All right. Top of the round, Ember. Gavin, you're on deck.
Yep.
I do not like leaving.
Ember, you will take 4 slashing damage.
Oh, okay.
Because any creature that starts their turn within 5 feet of the Gearkeeper and it did make a melee attack will take some slashing damage.
That's fair.
Oh, and technically so will the fire element. But that's
Alright.
so 62. I'm sorry, that should have technically begun at. Or no, that was at the beginning of your turn. Never mind.
Well, it is now.
Right. Okay, sorry. So you are technically in a melee with. You and the fire elemental are in a melee with this thing.
Right.
Right.
So. Yeah. God dang it. We're a ways from. Let's see. It was 90 feet to the dock.
90. Well, it was 90 feet to Johnny's ship before, because it was kind of on the tail end of taking off from the pier.
Yeah.
It is now out in the sky.
Oh, gotcha.
Tiernan's ship is still about 75 feet away and is still next to the pier. It has not taken off yet.
Gotcha. I am still looking for Barca. So I am going to fly off in search of Barca.
Okay. So you are going to provoke an attack.
Yep.
Does a 23 hit you?
Oh, yeah.
That will be 18 slashing damage.
Okay.
But then you fly up, and sure enough, you see Barca running after looks like Romeo, or at least a Romeo-esque looking bird. But
excellent.
And they are heading towards the kind of that open clearing that you just kind of flew up from. So they are ultimately heading towards that Gearkeeper construct and the fire elemental.
I am going to fly towards Barca.
Okay.
So I'll probably dash. I'm assuming.
Well, are you flying up like the full 60 feet and then observing, kind of? Or do you say you're like flying up like half that and have some movement left, or?
I mean, as soon as I would have seen Barca, I would have stopped.
All right, I'll be nice and say that maybe you flew up about Yeah, we'll call it 30 feet, and you saw Barca and Romeo.
That's. Oh,
So you have another 30 feet to at least get closer to him. And in doing so, since you're up in the air, Barca, you see Ember. Ember, you see Barca.
Would I, in a blind rage, following a parrot?
Well, that's a good point. What's your passive perception?
9.
Oh God.
So, never mind. You do not.
I was gonna say I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, that's honestly.
But,
If I would have seen Romeo, I would have been worried about Romeo because I would have remembered the story about Barca and eating all the birds.
but I will say that Romeo does see Ember, and so he starts to fly up. Oh, my beloved wildfire, I miss you so much. And admittedly, so your gaze does eventually go up and see that the bird is flying towards somebody. That's about all you recognize.
All right. I mean, I'm following the bird until I can't.
And
'Cause I
admittedly,
can't
that kind of
fly.
pisses you off a little bit more as you realize the bird took away from the sky or flew up into the sky, and you're like, "God damn it, I can't follow you!" Like,
Bitter subject with him.
Right. Okay. Then I'm gonna still do my dash
okay,
and get to Barca.
all right. You get to Barca.
And hopefully, oh God, can I carry Barca? I forget with the fly.
7'4", 396-pound
You're
bugbear.
still technically a medium creature.
That's
You
true.
could go ahead and make a make a strength roll.
Okay. $16.
I'm gonna say yes, you can grab Barca, but your speed is gonna be halved.
That's fine. Barca, buddy, we gotta go.
Fine. Barca will reach up. Are you like cradle arm carrying Barca? How is Barca getting carried out?
Oh my gosh. Please carry Barca like a Disney princess. I want Disney Princess Barca.
I wouldn't be able to see.
Fair.
Barca will attempt to just get on you like a backpack, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is like a Wookiee climbing on the back of
Yeah.
Princess Leia.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's fair.
Oh, goodness.
So yes, you're able to slowly kind of. Well, you're able to get loaded up. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Was there any other actions you were taking?
I was going to shout to my elemental friend, your orders are to burn that thing.
Okay.
And that's it.
Fair enough. After Eber.
Is Gavin.
Okay.
Can I take the martial artists off of the initiative, or is there a chance we may encounter more?
For right now, just go ahead and leave them on.
Okay.
There may be a. I don't know yet if there will be an instance where more will show up.
Okay.
So the ship that I am now staring down the barrel of is the one that Rhiannon Waller fired.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Not that you can see from where you're at.
That was my question. Is the ship deep enough that I can't see that effect?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna move to the helm.
Okay.
I'm aware that there's people there, so I'm gonna kind of land amongst the people. I'm gonna grab the helm and I'm gonna try to steer the ship directly towards the ship that ran in fireball.
So I'm gonna need you, because admittedly at this point, it's gonna be kind of an opposed strength check to see who actually gets to get control of the steering.
Sure.
I'm gonna say because there are a few of them there, and the panic of crashing to their doom tends to ignite one's fervor, that they are gonna effectively roll with advantage. Oh wow, their strength is that. Anyway, but go ahead and make your strength roll.
And 19 on the die for a 22.
And they had a 14.
Yes.
So you are able to steer the vessel. Now what I would like you to do is go ahead and make a, we'll call it a air vehicles check.
So I am
with dex. We'll say with dexterity.
Dex proficiency because I am proficient.
Yes.
16, 23.
Yeah. You hit. Okay, so.
Okay. So real quick, what I'm doing is I'm steering it into this thing, and at the last second, like when the bow hits the other ship, I'm gonna misty step the fuck out of dodge.
Okay, because bonus would be all about all you have left. So
yeah, then that's exactly what I was hoping for.
Okay. So yes, you are able to steer it into the one that is kind of burning with the fireball. I mean, it was trying to get out of the way, but being that you kind of elbowed the guys out of the way and cranked the wheel, you're able to kind of curve into it, and you spear the one airship into the other.
And right as I disappear, as they see the inevitability of their fate, I'll glance at either side of me right as before I misty step and go, "Well, gents, it's been nice knowing you," and I'm gone.
So yeah, so that happened. The airship you crashed in is crashing into the other one, and they start falling as burning wreckage to their doom. So there's only one airship currently on the same kind of level or plane as Tiernan's.
And where is on that one?
Which is the one that Amaya is on. Johnny is being chased by another, and then there's what did I say, 5 or 6? I said 5, and then there's 5 other airships above that are starting to head their way down. You know that, well, and of course Zaya is also in that mix as well, down below, so to speak. You do know if, and actually all of you that are kind of dealing with the airships right now at least recognize that if you stay put for too long and those other 5 or 6 or 5 airships engage, it's going to be kind of a different story than if you started to haul ass and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, at this point, my plan is to go back to Zaya and GTFO.
Okay. Let's see. Did you have any other actions left, Gavin?
Fuck no. That's more than my share. I just crashed an airship into another airship. I really can't ask for more.
Okay. Let's see.
After Gavin would be the martial artists.
All right, we can skip them.
Then it's Rhiannon's turn. Did I get far enough out of the way?
Actually, I'd like you to make we'll call it a dexterity saving throw.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know you were still there.
And Gavin.
No, to have known that you were still there, yeah.
It's not my strong suit. Oh, hey, but that's a 16 on the die. 19.
So you make the save, so you're only going to take like 9 damage of shrapnel-ness
Okay.
as the ships collide, because you're able to get out of the way of the worst of it.
Excellent.
And you do see Gavin kind of appear and start kind of heading his sort of initial descent towards Zaya.
Okay. Can I see the ship that's fighting with Tiernan's ship is above me, isn't it?
No. It's actually below you. Kind of below and off
Okay.
a little ways. But it is you are higher than it as far as the relative plane. Now the 5 ships that are coming down, they are above.
Yeah. Can I see a Maya on the deck of that ship, though?
You don't see a Maya specifically, but you did see a brilliant
I
flash.
did see the
of
sunburst.
light. So
Okay.
your analytical mind of the Inquisitive can probably...
I know that it's her, and I know that she's on that end of the ship. All right. Okay. I'm going to... Is it within 150 feet of me? I'm guessing so?
Sure. Yeah. We'll say it is. Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. I am going to cast Fireball again at 5th level. And I am going to center it on that central mast of that ship.
Okay.
Where I know that the elemental gem is kept.
Okay. Are you so on that little structure that...
Yep.
The door and everything? Okay.
Oh, yeah. It is a dex save.
Yep, I'm just rolling for the minions, not for the ship doesn't get a dex save. Again, you're hitting the broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
What's your for the minions?
15. DC 15.
Now they were the ones in the center had not been hit by the radiant burst, so they are uninjured. Okay.
Really glad I didn't use magic. We're gonna spend a sorcery point to reroll some dice. As we'll reroll that 1 and 2 of the 2s. Not great, but better. Okay. 20, 30, 36 points of fire damage. It's full damage.
Nice. Yeah, you see the like the guards that are on that, they're just screaming out in pain as they are on fire and not doing so hot.
Excellent.
They are sadly still alive, which is probably not great for them. but they're hurt units. Actually, that whole ship is kind of a hurt unit at this point. Between the damage you and Amaya have wrought. Are you?
And I will move. I will actually move closer to that, like 60 feet closer to that ship.
Okay, so you'll be about 90 away then.
Okay. And that is all. For now. After Rhiannon is the Gearkeeper.
The Gearkeeper keeps chopping into the fire elemental. Oh, that's a crit. That's not good.
Yeah,
28, 30. I can do math. No, I can't. Okay. You see the Gatekeeper construct is chopping into the fire elemental, and each time it does, the fire elemental's light dims just a little bit each time.
Smokey, no!
But it is still up and it is burning. That is it for the Gearkeeper. Who's next?
The Inspired, and then Amaya is on deck.
Okay, so Amaya.
Yeah.
They're gonna like all. Actually, a good chunk of them, we'll say the gunners, they're gonna mage armor themselves.
Boo.
And yeah, no, fuck it. They're all gonna mage armor themselves, and then they're gonna surround you.
Oh no! Whatever will I do with the target?
Lining themselves up just so you can knock them down.
Oh, except for those guys, they're flying the ship. But their intent is try to swarm you.
Okie doke.
Because, reasons.
Sure.
And that's pretty much going to be it for the Inspired. Because I don't think Rhiannon's not actually on the ship.
Nope.
And the other two ships are busy.
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
So that'll be it for the Inspired at this point. Well, actually, let me rephrase. That's not technically correct. Rhiannon, a couple of them are going to shoot at you with longbows because you are fucking their shit up with fireballs. Admittedly.
Fair.
And they don't like that. A 13 does not hit. Does a 16 hit?
Nope.
Okay, so those two will miss. But I'm guessing a 24 will hit?
Yes.
So that will be 8 piercing damage. And are you still concentrating on the wall of fire?
I was, but I can do a
then
con check.
Make a concentration check.
Yeah. I do have advantage. Because Warcaster.
Oh, I'm not too terribly worried.
Okay.
It's
an 11.
Yeah, well, Well, that was still good enough. But that was a
Mhm.
surprisingly low roll, considering.
Both dice were 5s.
Oh, rough.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But you made it, and that's what matters. Which means, sadly, the 2 falling airships are still on fire.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so a stray arrow does sink into your thigh.
I love how we went from save all the airships to kill all the airships.
Hey, we went to save the 2, and then these assholes came after us, and game over, man.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go full Bill Paxton on these motherfuckers.
Sir.
I don't know where that
Let's
was a
see.
deep cut.
That was Rhiannon.
No, that was the Inspired.
That was inspired.
For the Inspired. Okay,
After the Inspired, it is Amaya with Barca on deck.
Cool. Amaya is going to lob another searing sunburst over these guys right next to her.
Yeah.
So that it lands about, just within range. So the 20-foot radius hits the ones like directly in front of her towards the wheel there, and hits the people steering as well.
So you're going to, you won't be able to hit some of the ones immediately around you in terms of the ones flanking you, but
I should still be able to get like the 3 that are right in front of me there, and
you're still going to get like 6 of them plus the 2 guys that are piloting.
Yep. So they all get to make Constitution saving throws, and we're going to throw another 3 key points into this.
And what's the save DC?
17.
Okay, so I said there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. So that's 3 that failed, 4 that failed. And they need a 17.
They need a 17.
They all failed.
Yes.
Excellent. Then they will all take 27 points of radiant damage.
They are all fried. They are all blast shadows.
Excellent.
And funny enough, you feel a slight dip as the ship is slowly tilting forward a little bit. And some would say a slight downward angle.
Yeah. And then still have a couple of key points. I'm going to spend 1 more to dodge. Yeah, dodge. And I'm going to remain where I am.
Okay. No worries, sir. We'll probably at the end of this round finish it up for today. So no worries. Is there anything else Amaya's doing then?
No, I think that'll cap Amaya's turn.
All right, after Amaya.
After Amaya is Barca.
All right. I'm currently on a ride with the Human Torch or something. So that's where I'm at. So
Pretty much. That's a pretty apt description, all things considered.
I will hold an action to attack anything that attacks Ember.
Okay. That is fair. After Barca.
The Warforged Titan and then the Elemental before the end of the round.
Okay, so then we're at the end of the round. And you know what? That's a good spot. I think we're gonna leave it there for the moment. think that's a good cliffhanger. Still in the middle of the action as chaos is going.
Let's chaos reign.
Chaos reign. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate it and hope you enjoyed it. And if all goes according to plan, you should see us again in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good whatever time of day it is for you, and we'll see you next time.